Hi folks! The category I'm breaking down today is Best Visual Effects, and this year, for the first time in the Academy's history, the Board of Governors and the Visual Effects branch have decided to expand the field of nominees from 3 to 5. The first of those 5 is Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. Nearly every scene in the movie was shot in front of a green screen, which meant thousands upon thousands of man-hours were involved in developing textures, matte paintings, and digital models for Burton's vision of Wonderland. Four-time Oscar winner Ken Ralston, whose career dates back to the peak years of industrial light and magic in the 80s, headed the effects team. I appreciate exactly how much work he and his crew put into the film, which is why it kinda makes me sad to concede that, personally, I found the effects to be garish, obvious, and disenchanting, particularly the animation of CG characters. And that doesn't mean it can't win. Voters will sometimes go for quantity over quality in this category, but I still say Alice in Wonderland is the runner-up. The next nominee is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1, and this is only the second Harry Potter film to be nominated in this category, which sorta surprises me because I always found the effects in these movies to be quite good. Whenever you go back and rewatch them, you always discover some nifty little effects that you may have missed the first time, and they're always really well done. The effects of this installment are more of the same, and of course they're supervised by Tim Burke, who's headed nearly all the Harry Potter films, and as usual it is quality work, but not quite spectacular enough to win, I'm afraid. The Academy's never fully embraced this franchise, and I don't expect them to start now. The third nominee is an interesting case. It's Clint Eastwood's Hereafter, and it took many people by surprise to see it get nominated over Tron Legacy or Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. There's really only one scene which showcases the special effects in a big way, that being the harrowing tsunami sequence that opens the film. It's well done, to be sure, but beyond that, there's not much more reason to have nominated it in this category. It's clearly the beneficiary of those extra 2 slots that opened up this year. I don't think it would have gotten in otherwise, and I certainly don't think it'll win. The one that will, and by all means should win, is Christopher Nolan's Inception. The director is often praised by the critical community for his inclination to predominantly use practical staged effects and to only rely on CGI when need be, giving the effects of his movies a decidedly realistic look. Inception makes use of many clever illusions designed by Paul Franklin and Chris Corbould, both of whom were nominated for Nolan's The Dark Knight, and the result is pure movie magic, a wonderful action extravaganza filled with dazzling and imaginative effects, none more stupefying than that now famous hotel corridor sequence, which made use of enormous centrifuges and wire riggings to simulate gravitational fluctuations. I believe this one is the winner. Finally, we have Iron Man 2, effects supervised by Ben Snow and Daniel Sudik, who were both nominated for their work on the first Iron Man in 2008. The work here is respectable, but not really outstanding enough to win. Some of the CGI seems awkwardly integrated and doesn't really look like much of an improvement over the work done in the first film. Don't get me wrong, it's decent stuff, but I don't think it can win over effects as special as those found in Inception. Join me tomorrow for a rundown of the competitors for Best Adapted Screenplay.